Welcome, everyone. I am Glenda Dawson, and I have Moongirl here with us, Sarah Garcia, and we are the Paranormal Dolls. So welcome, and thank you for following us and watching and just supporting us. So, Moongirl, how you doing today, sweetheart?
Good. Thank you. Excited about our guests, the lovely Crystal and Jason from Sixth Realm Haus. Super excited to showcase them and their haunted house as well.
Great. So, welcome, Crystal. Welcome, Jason.
Hello.
Tell us about yourselves and your place and whatever you want to share with the audience.
Yeah, a little bit about the history of your house. That'd be awesome.
So the Sixth Realm House, we actually purchased the house about a year and a half ago after we got to investigate it. What, probably like 3 years ago now that we investigated. It was built in 1868 by Alphonse Singley, and it was moved to this location in 1898. So it's about 155, 156 years old.
Nice.
Mhm. And tell us about you. Let's hear how you decided to do all this.
Sarah, what?
Go ahead, Jason.
Well, yeah, it was kind of my idea, but we really wanted to, or we've been paranormal investigating for a pretty long time, but really seriously, probably within the last 3 to 4 years, like really seriously investigating, and we kind of wanted our own research facility that we can, research every day if we wanted to, and this way we can just research. That's where the idea came from, and then we just made it happen. We went to all kinds of different houses, buildings, even at different towns. But we really did want something in our hometown. That way we could just go over anytime. It's like right down the road. So that was the main key in finding this house. And this house here was actually kind of like, I don't know if it was a destiny or what, but it was definitely in our cards. Because the first time we actually went to see the house was on the anniversary of the owner or the original builder's death. Like that was on his death. That was the anniversary of his death. That day that we came
Wow.
to. So
So it was definitely meant to be, you feel.
we
It was.
kind of think. I mean, and then it was a foreclosed house, so there was bids on it, and we didn't get the bid, which I told Crystal. If I was like, if it's in our cards, we'll get it. And then a year later, it came up for on the market again. So got it. So
Awesome. So what got both of you interested in the paranormal? Like you didn't just wake up one day and you're like, ghost, or did you always feel connected to spirit? Are you gifted or do you just, love investigating?
I love investigating, but I'm not gifted. Now, Crystal, yes, she is. I mean, I think it is like an acquired skill. I think you do, sensitive as you go along. And the more you research, the more you investigate. I mean, you do tend to start feeling things and sensitivity and stuff. But I'm not there yet. But
The wife is.
the star.
I had a lot of experiences with the paranormal whenever I was a kid, so I just didn't really know what it was called. No one really talked about it, but I was very close to it, and I would say I've always been sensitive to these kind of things. But like Jason said, the more we investigate, the more we do it, the more open I've become to it. And sometimes just being here in the house, I can tell you I get angry or I'll get very sad. Even if we just go to other places, definitely feeling the emotions that are imprinted here in the house. Uh, I, I I I do tarot, so I work a lot with energy. I would say I've Like, I'm not like a psychic medium or anything like that, but I definitely do a lot of energy work, and that seems to take a toll when I'm here in the house.
Now, do you guys live there? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say we're actually in Victoria, Texas. Like, we're in downtown, so we're in the town site where Victoria was actually established.
Nice.
Do you guys live there, or you have another place you live, or you just have it to investigate?
Yeah, we don't live here, but we have a very huge haunted collection, and we house all of these items at our house where we actually live, and we have stuff that happens there too. So we thought this, not only would it be a great place to investigate, it already had activity, but then we brought our haunted collection here, and now it's just kind of amplified the things that happen.
Can you maybe tell us a little bit about some of the haunted objects you guys have?
Yes, we have a lot of dolls, and I was always kind of a skeptic about, haunted dolls. Like, it just seems kind of like that movie cliche, haunted doll. And I actually bought a doll to do research on, to show people that it's a lot more rare than they think. When we started having experiences, our daughters started having experiences with this doll that nobody knew that I bought. So it just, proved me wrong, one. But we actually have one of our investigators here. He is very sensitive, and he will bring haunted dolls that he picks up here. And yeah, I mean, they'll mess with the volume on things, or they'll move things around. You'll hear footsteps around them. We had one particular doll, she's actually sitting right in front of me, that we had a power surge, or we had a surge with our equipment that's battery operated, and nothing that was actually plugged into the walls. And that was a pretty crazy experience.
Wow.
Could imagine. That must have been interesting.
It was.
So tell us about some of your experiences, Jason.
Well, I mean, I've had experiences too. I know I had one experience when I was young or little. We used to live like in a 2-story house. It was an old house, and this was actually like about 30 minutes away from where we live now. But I was on the bed, and this was like at night, and we didn't have any animals inside or anything. But I was sitting on the end of the bed, and I felt something like bounce off, and then you heard it run down the stairs. So that was one of my first experiences. And then, I mean, I've had experiences in the house. I mean, I've had experiences at our house where we live. I mean, let me see. What else? What other experience have I had?
Not only did they try to push you off the ladder here.
That was one there at the house. I was by myself, and I was putting a camera up in one of the rooms upstairs, and I was probably, the ceilings are kind of high. They're like 10 foot, high. So I was up mid-level on the ladder, and I wasn't doing anything, but I had my arms up, and all of a sudden the ladder shook, and I jumped off, and I mean, I could have got hurt, but I luckily I didn't. But that was one of probably the worst experiences I had there at the house. We've had a ball just move by itself. I mean, cabinets open up there. I've heard bangs there, footsteps, whistling, coughing. I mean, we've heard all kinds of things there at the house. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Estes method.
Yes.
That particular method, that really works very well at this house. And I don't know, we've kind of delved into that that particular method. It's very interesting. We find a lot of different different scenarios or sessions that we've had, and then we don't tell anybody about the sessions, and then other people come in and they have they have like similar experiences, or they hear things, and it would you say, it correlates with what we got and the different sessions that we've had. So I don't know. I mean, me personally, I don't really know what it is or what we're tapping into, but I mean, it's definitely interesting. And I think we're getting closer to finding out like what we are actually tapping into.
So, before you purchased the house, did you guys get a chance to review some of the history?
Yes. So I love the part of the history. Yes, we provide the history to everybody who comes here. We do know that there's 7 confirmed deaths in the house, and one that we're kind of not sure if it happened here in the house or it was one of their grandchildren. Nothing that's, I mean, there wasn't anything super gruesome that happened here. But I think that because of the attachment that these people had, they were born here in Victoria. Victoria was just getting started. So owning land during those times and making a name for yourself was viewed a lot differently than it is now. And I think the owners had a real attachment to this place, because we've had a few mediums come in and our spirits are very judgy. They are very judgy. They don't like yeah, they're like judgy spirits. I don't know. They don't like that we wear pants. So for women, when we're in here and we're showing skin or we're not, in a dress or skirt or whatever, they are very judgy. They do not like that. But we've been told, but then it's kind of like, oh, well, y'all are working on the house though, so we kind of like that though. So I think they're still, they're just
stuck in old times.
Yes, they don't understand. They don't understand.
That trollop's wearing a skirt. I can see her ankle.
Yes, yeah. You just see my clavicles. It's like,
dirty girl.
Yeah,
you're not wearing the neck thing. What's wrong?
Yeah. So we do have one spirit here. We don't really know who he is. We kind of have our ideas of who or what he's made up of. And the other spirits have a nickname for him, and they call him the Fat Man. So they do. They call him the Fat Man, which I have seen him several times. And he's got like a beer belly. And
you weren't kidding about your ghost being judgmental.
Judging, I'm telling you, they're like Fat Man, and I don't even know what. Well, I'm not gonna say what they call me, but they call me a lot of names. Like, yeah, they love to call me names. They think it's funny. So he doesn't like women.
I've had ghosts call me names too, Crystal. Don't feel bad. Now I'm all like, I've been called worse. Thank you very much. So whatever.
Yeah, so I do kind of fight with him when we're doing like the Estes method. He comes through a lot, and when I'm not the one doing it, and I'll say things like, this is my house, and he gets defensive very quickly and starts yelling and starts calling me names, and I'm like, well, I'm alive, so this is my house right now. And so we've made a deal, that he knows I'm going to say things like that, but yeah.
Now, you have like other trigger objects. I read there that on your bio that you had like serial killer objects there. I don't know, you're at this place or your house. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you came about getting them or purchasing them?
We have quite a bit of serial killer letters. But I'll let Jason talk about that a little more. That's his realm.
Yeah, I like kind of like
Hand it off to Jason.
well, yeah, the serial killer stuff. Yeah, it's just more like memorabilia type stuff. Like we got a few letters and drawings, and I even got this one thing that we sourced. This guy that I know, he sourced it. It's out of Pasadena, but this one killer, or they used to call him the Candyman over there. But he actually got like I got a piece of like the floorboards of the house that he used to. They demolished that place. I mean, there was like I think 28 killings that they did.
I think they found 28 or 27 or 28 bodies.
Well, they used to have like a torture room in his house. Or he had two kids that helped him. Like he would he'd kill like men and boys, but he had two kids in school, and they'd help him get the kids over to the house, and then they'd torture him and kill him, and then but he'd have them bury him out by his boat shed. He had but the torture was at his house, and he'd kill their house or his house, and then one of the kids that actually helped him shot him and killed him. But yeah, we have actually like a piece of the floorboard from his house.
Wow.
And what about the leathers? Who are they from, or who wrote the letter?
We have some Richard Ramirez letters.
Oh wow, okay, Night Stalker.
Yeah, Night Stalker. We got some letters. The BTK killer, which
that's still a recent. That's a recent killer.
Yeah. I mean, he's still alive.
Yeah.
We got some Hayden Clark letters. What else do we have? Oh, the most hated Texas. We got a letter from her. Yolanda
Salazar.
Woo!
Yeah.
There's some.
You hit that one on the nail with hated. Especially if you're from South Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's kind of like, oh, what, you got that in here? It's like, but it's just memorabilia that I collect.
Now, do you feel that those letters and the memorabilia increase the energy in the house?
We do, or I do. I think so. I mean, we've had experiences with or being in the oddity room. We've had experiences in there, and it's now if it's somebody like just a spirit mimicking or whatever it is, but I mean, it's still they come through, and it's weird. Like
I don't think that we get it from other spirits. I think we get it directly from those letters because number one, we have a very inappropriate spirit in that room. But I know they're judgy, that are inappropriate. They're just like
my type of place. Okay.
Don't threaten Glenda with a good time.
Oh, there you go.
Our ghost will show you a good time. Yes.
Yeah,
it's gonna make a trip to the valley, or South Texas.
But I had an experience with the Richard Ramirez letter at our house where we live.
Oh yeah.
And it was the letter kind of shot out of this basket that was in our closet because we weren't ready to bring it here yet.
Right.
And I'm too short for the basket, so there was no way I would have touched it. And handling those letters make me physically ill.
You know what? I believe you on the Richard Ramirez one because I went to the Zach Bagans museum over there in Vegas, and he has one room where he has serial killer memorabilia. But so I was going through it, walking through it. But when we passed and I didn't see what was behind me, I started feeling like I was getting choked. And I turned around like, oh my gosh. And it was a picture of Richard Ramirez. And he had I forgot what else was in there, but it was of him. And I was like, so I will totally believe you on the Richard Ramirez thing. 100%. There's some dark energy there for sure.
There is. There's been some times where I'm like drawn towards that room, and I'll tell Jason, like, I feel like we need to be in the oddities room right now. Like that's where we need to go. Mm-hmm. And so we'll go up there, and just some of the things that happen are very inappropriate. And I'm like, I want
to know details.
Where's we go there, and where's Sarah? We haven't seen her 24 hours, and she's just in that room.
the oddities room with the inappropriate ghost. So
That's great evidence, man.
Yeah.
so I kept feeling like something was touching my head, right? And of course Jason's making like his own inappropriate gestures. You know, and the REM pod starts going off like ha, I just always get that like ha ha, you know, like I think it's funny kind of thing. We did have a group come through here about a month or so ago, and she got like grabbed.
Wow.
Wow.
So I'm not saying it's coming from Richard Ramirez, but that is when things like that happen in that room, I always tend to think that's who it's coming from.
Mm.
Has anyone gotten hurt? Like whether you guys or people you had over, investigators, mediums?
Well,
We've had people get scratched, choked.
Mm.
oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. Now, I mean, scratching. I mean, we all know it's like, is it just them trying to get our attention, or what? You know, we don't really know if that's, you know, they're trying to scratch or hurt you. But I mean, this one guy got scratched in his neck, like right here, bad, like in the doll room. He got scratched like really bad. But we've had like, you know, who usually get scratched. There's like if there's like younger adolescent type, like maybe 16, 18, stuff like that. They're the ones that get scratched usually. Girls.
I did get
We've had
scratched
what, 3 or
a
4
few
girls
weeks ago.
scratched. Oh, she got scratched. Yeah, I've never been scratched that I know of, anyways. And her brother got scratched there. Actually, both her brothers got scratched there. There's been a ton of scratching going on there.
Scratching, choking, you know, we've got it all.
Again, don't threaten Glenda with a good time.
That spirit does follow us home sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, or like if the fat man, or you know, that's whatever you call him. Like you can
He's the big boned man.
or like sick, or like you're either nauseous, or like you'll feel like a heaviness in your chest, like when he's around. I started feeling that. I mean, I don't feel it all the time, but like I know when he's around me, because I feel it when he's.
Now, have you guys experienced anything at you all's house? Because I know you're there all day long, so that energy sometimes can follow you.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, I'll know when the fat man's at our house. I can feel him. Like I'm like, oh.
So I've seen him at our house.
Or you get that flash like in your head of like the fat man or something, or you know, something.
We're all Hispanic. We're gonna call him like El Gordito por cariño.
Well, he don't like Mexicans though.
Yeah, he does not. But
See, on purpose, we need to take a Mexican flag and just wave it, take it to the house.
I'm telling you, we do pick on him. We do come in here some days and we're just, you know, not kind at all.
Yeah. Do something. Don't scream at him. Do something.
That's putting it mildly and very nicely, but
So do you feel that when you do go in on Sundays and you're not so nice, does he react better, or does he act up even more?
I'm going to say he doesn't react to it.
I mean, sometimes you can tell that like they stay away from you. Like they'll go upstairs or something, or you know, they come down and then you go upstairs, you come down and they go upstairs. You know, it's like that they kind of tend to stay away from you.
That's a game they like to play with Jason.
Yeah, that he doesn't like me, or the spirit don't like me really. So they kind of tend to stay away. But I mean, I do feel him sometimes when I'm there. It's like I'll feel him on. Like I don't know, it feels like he's on top of you or something.
Right.
He's like,
Well, they do, like spirits or demonic entities. They tend to like attach themselves to the very back of your neck, very back. So if you ever feel something like an attachment or something, try to put like, well, you know how we do the werewolf, you know, the cleanse there. You're gonna do a limon or whatever you're gonna use, or the crystals, rub them there, and that should kind of help you. But I mean, that's why you feel it on your back. They're trying to, you know, attach right in the back here. Now,
Which
can
is
you?
where I got scratched, was right on the back of my neck when I was, so we have the Lesser Key of Solomon
Oh,
here in the house. And sometimes to stir them up when we're bored and they haven't really been giving us anything.
picking on ghosts.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna read from this book and I'll start reading from it. And that's what I was doing that day. And I had those, it was 2 scratches on the back of my neck. It just felt like burning. So yeah, we tend to poke at them.
Can you describe a little bit your like the house? Like, I guess kind of like when you go in, there's one room and that has what, another room has what, kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So right when you come in the house, I actually have a store in here. I do tarot and herbs and candles and those kind of things. And then we've got our lovely living room that I am in right now. We have a viewing room where all the cameras, so you can watch all of the activity that's going on, and then a kitchen. It's a fairly large house. It's a 2-story house. So downstairs we have like a storage room and a under the stairs closet that we've turned into a what is it called? A psychomantian, right? That's what it's called. Psychomantian. And then upstairs we've got the oddities room. We've got another bedroom that the fat man likes to hang out in. Called Susan. And I've got like a little sitting area that I have all of my Lizzie Borden memorabilia of, because I love that. I don't know, that whole story. And then we've got the green room and the doll room. So we've got quite a few different rooms with different
themes
that we were kind of drawn towards those themes. Like we felt like these were things that belonged there. And that's pretty much the layout.
Okay.
And go ahead, Glenda.
So you say, for example, the green room, you said? What would somebody experience there?
That room, I would say heaviness in your chest. There's we'll put K2 meters on the bed for some reason right there, and there's this one spot that K2 meter like just goes off over and over, here and there, but there's nothing electrical right there. We've tried to test it out, and we can't find out why the reason is on this particular spot. It's like the K2 meter always goes off right there. I mean, and the mattress, it's from IKEA, so it's nothing, old or that. It could be the bed, maybe, or we've tried to like even go on the ground or anything. There's no current or nothing, and there's no current around there. So like, there shouldn't be any reason for that K2 meter to be picking up any, reason. That's strange. But in that green room, that's where I actually got pushed off of the ladder. Well, I don't know if I got pushed. That's where that experience happened. We've had 4 people get scratched right there within the threshold of the doll room. So you could get scratched in there, and you'll feel the heaviness in your chest and like nausea. But that's mainly nausea is in Sue's room, or that purple room. That's where people usually get sick.
What are some of the trigger objects you have in the green room, if any?
We have a sketch that came from England of Anne Boleyn. We've got a couple of dolls. We have a mirror that we bought from this couple, and we've had quite a few people have some experiences with this mirror. And I had a lot of people ask me, what is it about the mirror? And I'm like, nothing. I bought it from this couple. It's a gorgeous, heavy mirror. They sold it to me cheap, and they came and delivered it. So now I'm like, maybe there was something wrong with it. But the bed. So I wanted a specific bed And when I found this one, someone had carved a skull into the side of it. So I kind of feel like you have this probably a pissed off teenager carving into the bed, putting all their energy into that. And sometimes I feel like that's why our equipment acts up. I'm a big believer of leaving your energy in different places. So
everything is an imprint, absolutely.
yeah, and that's, I would say the bed has been the biggest trigger object in that room, but because the original family lived upstairs and they ran a tin shop downstairs. Everything that happens to them, I would say, happens up there. Their life was up there. So that's where they passed away. That's,
the Estes method works like really well in that room. We've had a lot of sessions in that room, or actually all upstairs. Really, I mean, I think a lot. I mean, a lot of the deaths were maybe upstairs. The early deaths, I think they were upstairs. Now, maybe like
a couple of them down here.
People died, downstairs. But I mean, because honestly, a lot of the family, they lived to like be 100 years old or over 100. I mean, they lived a long time, but so they saw some of their kids die, before they passed in the house. So, but
Do you know if there was any room there? I'm sorry.
Activity is upstairs from the past. People living there.
And do you know how it went into foreclosure? Is it just that the person died and nobody wanted to take over the house, or the person just didn't have the money to pay?
That is a subject that
we'll pick up at another time.
Another time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now there is. I mean, we've had people come over or like they won't come inside. I mean, they've said like, their mom or grandma used to say like, do not go into that house or don't even pass by the house.
The black-eyed children. We had somebody tell us that their daughter and her friends were walking by, asked to like go walking around the neighborhood, and she's like, yeah, go, but be careful. And they came back running to her that they had seen, I don't remember, she told me there were 3 or 4 kids that had they were black-eyed children, and that was the first time I'd ever heard that before. And they were in the front corner of the property. And she took the kids and the friends by the house, and they were like, yeah, that house. And she's like, it's funny because when we were kids, my mom used to say, do not walk in front of that house, stay away from that house. So, I mean, we've had a lot of people come forward and tell us they used to live here, these were their experiences, this is what they saw when they lived here. So there's been quite a few people who have come to us and told us about all these experiences.
Wow. Now, do you guys book investigators or overnight stays?
Yeah. So people can book the house for overnight investigation. We also we have a lot of people who are very interested in the paranormal, but they don't necessarily want to spend the night here. So we'll do like 3-hour investigations with them where we provide all of the tools and we investigate with them so we can show them how to investigate and, just different methods or experiments that they can do. That's kind of our slogan, right? Experience the paranormal. But yeah, we also do, I get haunted historic tours of the house.
Now you guys also do events, right?
Yes, we do night markets. So witchy night markets here at the house.
Awesome.
Nice. Now is that every month, every 2 months, or just?
We just started them, so this will be our 3rd one, weather permitting, of course. we're going to try to do them maybe 4 times a year. I don't want to take the magic out of them. I feel like when you do something too much, you might take a little bit of magic away from it.
Mhm.
So we're going to try to just do them maybe 4 times a year.
Nice, nice. And what have you done up to now? Is it just like a market? Is it like people get to experience different things? Is it that different people come along, different vendors?
Yeah, we have different vendors from all over. So we have them come from like Houston, Austin, San Antonio. They come and kind of set up, and some of them do tarot readings. So you'll have tarot readers outside as well. Inside, my shop is open inside, and I do tarot readings. So they don't let me out of the living room during those events. So I don't get to go talk to anybody.
So if somebody wanted to be a vendor, how can they get a hold of you, or how can they do that?
They can message us on Facebook, Sixth Realm Haus, or they can shoot us over an email, and it's Sixth Realm Paranormal at yahoo.com. You would think I'd know my own email address.
Now, for like those investigators who've gone and done an investigation there, have they ever like presented you with any evidence or any experiences?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had one group from Corpus that were here, and they had these banging, like someone's banging on the door, and from their footage and our footage, just trying to see where they were when this was happening so we could rule out that they were the ones doing it. They were live on Facebook when this was happening. And so we checked our footage outside and inside, and no one was outside. No one was like doing anything inside. And then we had another couple here, and they heard the banging as well. I've heard the banging, not quite the way they did, but that was probably like the craziest thing. It was the banging.
Were you gonna ask something, Glenda?
Yeah, I'm hearing like kids or something. Do you have any kids around right now, or? Okay,
No,
that's interesting.
It's
So
just
when you see this again, you'll hear what I'm hearing.
Now, do you guys also go investigate other places as well?
we do, yeah. When we first started out, that's really what we were, a paranormal team going to different places. Back in March, we were actually in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. So we were at the Lizzie Borden house. We were at the Conjuring house. We go to Yorktown Hospital a lot.
Nice.
Like so much, the spirits are like, oh, y'all again.
You again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever caught anything scary there? Anything that's kind of like maybe freaked you out a little bit?
Well, a piece of the table fell off in the basement at Yorktown, and we caught that all on camera. Here at the house, I'm going to tell you, I'm here by myself a lot. And it doesn't really freak me out anymore. I kind of go towards it because I'm like curious. But I was talking about the Lesser Key of Solomon one day, and I'm here by myself, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm bored because my phone is charging, and I start talking about it, and I hear these 3 really loud things, like something is coming down the stairs, and I froze. Because I'm here by myself, and I know it just came from the stairs, which are just right there, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Have you ever had to tell them, hey, like slow it down? We're here.
I don't think I've ever told them that. No, I don't think I've ever told them that.
She had to
There
take
was
a
something
shower
that the boys.
there one time.
The what?
I said you had
What?
to take a shower there that one time.
Yeah. So when you were talking about the freeze, right? I did have to take a shower here. And let me just say, the night before we had so much activity, and there's three restrooms in this house. And one of them is right by the audience room, which is where we were having all that crazy
Well,
inappropriate.
that's when we were having that activity where, you know, I don't know if it was Richard Ramirez or not, but that's when it was all, you know, uncomfortable or whatever. And then she had to take a shower the next day over there.
Yeah, I had to come shower here by myself. And I'm like, okay, so I couldn't use the shower downstairs because it wasn't working. And I go upstairs and I'm just like, please do not do anything while I have to get naked. Please just leave me alone. and then the shower wouldn't work, and I had to come downstairs and get a cup, right? Because I had to old school it. And I go into the kitchen and the cabinet is open. And I'm like, no, we're not doing this right now. Just leave me alone. Let me shower and get ready for work. So,
Voyeur.
So I'm going to say that was the only time I told them to leave me alone. Yeah. So, you know, we're like this now.
So now you shower all the time.
Now I'm like,
You're like Pee Wee Herman, take a picture, it'll last longer. No.
Yeah, right. They're just like, I'm just going to go to your house now.
So funny.
Yeah.
So, do you have any upcoming events, and when are those going to happen? What's going to go on in those events?
Yes. So on September 30th is going to be our next night market. So it's from 6 in the evening to 11 at night. And then in the September 16th, I believe, or whatever that Sunday is. I'm sorry, I don't have the calendar right here in front of me. There is actually going to be the Victoria Film Festival, and the house is featured in one of the films called Spectral Crossroads. So if you're around here, I definitely have to check that documentary out. And then we are booking. We just opened up booking for September and October. And if you want to do like overnights or 3 hours, Halloween weekend, we do a haunted tour with the Main Street program here. And so I take you around on a party bus and show you different locations here in Victoria and kind of tell you a little bit about them. We end with an investigation. And I do believe we're going to end with an investigation here at the house. And we'll do that Friday and Saturday of Halloween weekend.
Nice.
That sounds fun. I want to go.
Yes.
Well,
Please.
Get your tickets now.
I'm fangirling over Moongirl. Okay, so she'll like.
Oh, South Texas, we gotta stick together, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, did you say that we were having the night market?
Yes.
Okay. Or I think that's what, September 30th?
30th. Yeah, that's the only date that I know at the moment in my head.
I'm sure there'll be others that come along.
Oh yeah.
So is there any other experiences that you have gone through that you want to share with us?
Even from childhood that had nothing to do with the house, because it all starts there. That's how we get curious. And then, it turns into something much bigger. You guys got the house, but is there anything that kind of caught your attention as you were kids or?
Yeah. So I'm actually not originally from Victoria. I'm from a very small, tiny town that I won't mention, about 30 minutes away from here. And I had a lot of experiences there. I used to go hear someone, they would call my name. They would mimic the voices of family members. And I think a lot of it started around that time. So from the time I was about 7 or 8 years old. And really it wasn't just with, I guess, spirits or ghosts or paranormal in that sense, but a lot of it was actually like UFO related kind of. And I think it just built up over the years, and as I had more and more experiences.
Well, we love you experience. We had too many.
Well, I mean, I've had two, UFO experiences, anyways, and one when I was little, and then one was in her little town that she lived in.
Okay, so we want to hear about the. We want to hear about
Okay. Well, I know. I mean, the one when I was little. I mean, I used to live out in the country, probably about 30 minutes away from Victoria too. But I was just out there, and we were coming home one day or one night, and I saw like a UFO. Now it was like, to me, it kind of looked like maybe like something like the Millennium Falcon or something, but it had just a big orange light on the bottom, just flew over. Now there was no noise or anything. That was that first experience. I mean, that was what probably was like 8, maybe or 7. So I was young, so I can't really remember like I do remember seeing it, but I can't really say like what it looked like now. But now the other ones like happened maybe 6 or 7 years ago, maybe. Now this one's like, it's still fresh in my mind, but it was we were me and her brother. Her brother was broke down on the side of the road by the store down there. It's called Bucky's, but he was on the other side of the road, and like she was at the store in the van, and I was over there with her brother. Like he was leaning up against the van, like facing towards, let's say east, and I was facing towards north or this way, and he just looked up and he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, and I turned around, I look up, I'm like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Hey," I didn't have my phone. I was all screaming like across the road, like, "Hey, get the phone." She wasn't paying attention, so I was like, "Damn it!" And then right when it got over, like right above us, I mean, I was all pointing at it and everything, because it was like right at that little point where you can see it, but it wasn't like too far away, but it wasn't like super close either. It was right there. But right when it got over us, it like, you ever seen the Predator? I don't know if you've seen the Predator, but like whenever he cloaks, it's like all that like a mirage looking, that you could still see it, but it was cloaked, and it like went over us, and then it just went that way, like just real slow. Now what it looked like to me was like a cigar with lights on, 2 lights, and it was just one on either side, and that's what it looked like. So I mean, I've never seen aliens or anything, but I mean, UFOs I have seen with my own eyes, a UFO. Even our daughter's seen one too.
Yeah, sounds very interesting, and I'm sure that changed somewhat your perspective.
Well, I mean, I've always kind of, I mean, I don't think we're alone, or there's stuff there that, I mean, we're paranormal investigators. I mean, there's stuff there we don't see, or that we don't know, or that's right there across them,
It's interesting that you said that they were cloaked like the Predator, because I don't know if you guys, seeing that now, like in Peru, there's a bunch of people claiming that there is aliens, Predator like, that are like kind of cloaked, that are kind of clear, and just like the movie, are running through and hurting people there.
You can see through it, but it's like something's there. But like, no, I'm telling you, like, it wasn't cloaked at first, but like as soon as I started pointing, it cloaked, like right when it got over us. I mean, it stayed cloaked all the way. I mean, you could still see it, but it wasn't. Well, there was no noise or anything. And I mean, it was. Her brother saw it. I'm sure he'd say the same exact thing that I said. Like, it's.
Oh, you don't have to convince us. Trust me, we know, we believe you.
It's funny though, because like he's had experiences. I've had experiences there. I've had experiences in our own house with them. And so have our children. So is his mom. So I don't know if it's just kind of like a family thing,
It can be.
It can be.
Yeah. Well, even
with like a cryptid. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. Another time, we saw, well, we didn't see, but like we're out here by mineral wells, Texas. There's another place that we go to over there, and they told us about this cemetery that they've been seeing like sightings of Bigfoot. Well, we were over there at that cemetery. Now this place is like out in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, it's kind of, there's a little like a slight mountain right there. It's wooded. Now we were just there, and like all of a sudden, we hear this like she's like shh, shh, and you hear this like weird like growl. Like, I mean, I can't even like replicate it. It was just something I've never heard before. I was like, man, I wonder if that's like
Did
a
you have
big
the footage?
cat. Oh yeah, I have the footage. You can hear it on there. But I wasn't fixing to go out there and like check it out or nothing. But I wanted to, but I was like, man, just the place where we're at, it's like, I don't know, there could be some kind of, or somebody shoot me or something, and nobody knew where we're at.
Yeah.
But I mean, was it a Bigfoot? I don't know, but it was something that I've never heard before. It didn't sound like a big cat or anything like that, or a bear or nothing. It was something else, like definitely.
It was definitely something, yeah.
It was, when we were out there, I kept telling him, like, something doesn't want us here. And it felt like they were surrounding us. Like they were, getting closer and closer. And I was like, we really need to leave because something doesn't want us here. And then I started hearing something. So, I'm telling them to like be quiet. And then we just hear it. It's like, yeah, we need to go. So we were out.
Can't blame you. Can't always run into it.
Well, if it's ghosts, that's a different thing. But when it's something completely different that you don't know what it is, now that's a little scary, because ghosts we all can handle. I mean, at least us, right? But like, if it's something else, who knows?
I mean, I didn't have any weapons.
I mean, you don't know your surroundings. You don't know what could be out there. Here in the house, I'm like, oh, a ghost is calling me. Let me run up there real quick. But like some weird thing making these noises that would probably like eat us or something. I'm like, oh no, I'm leaving.
Or an alien with a probing machine. No, thank you. We're gone.
I don't know why they want to probe us. I don't know. They should have had enough of that already.
Me and Glenda did a show about aliens and getting alien probe.
Oh Lord, yes, that was an interesting show.
I don't know. I mean, not everybody.
Now we're talking about aliens, and I'm thinking about them, and now they're going to come get me tonight. And I can't handle that.
Have fun. See you later.
Well, I used to work with this guy here, and you would never think that he would even like entertain the idea of anything like that. But like, I mean, he personally never had any experience like that. But like now his family, he started telling about it, like his mom had experiences. His mom's brother, which that's his uncle, grandpa, like I would think it's like on his mom's side, like that side, they had all kinds of experiences, like with UFOs or seeing things. But you would never think
he probably has, but he just doesn't. He blocked it,
right?
Because if it's a lot of family like that, more than likely he was abducted, but he doesn't remember the probing.
Yeah.
It was too traumatizing.
Could be.
We need to block those traumatizing probing incidents out. Like, we don't want to think about them.
Yeah.
I understand.
I don't even know how to take that statement.
No.
Let it go. Just let it go.
That so wrong.
To be continued.
And Jason is just there like, I'm not saying a word. I am keeping quiet on this one. Nope, not getting into that one.
I always say I'm taking crap.
Oh my God.
Lord. Well, just one more time, give everyone how they could contact you. I will also have it in the description, but so they could hear it and contact you and maybe book you for those overnights or 3 hour stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So,
I want to do one now.
yes, Sixth Realm Haus. We're in Victoria, Texas. You can actually call us or text us 361-648-3935 or 361-648-3291. Those are the Sixth Realm phone numbers. Or you can check us out on Facebook.
Yeah. Or TikTok, just type in like a six Realm Haus, HAUS. And you can even go on TikTok, Instagram. YouTube. People got videos posted on there. You can even learn about the history of the house and everything on there. They've taken videos of Crystal telling the story and everything. So, but like Facebook would probably be the best to get a hold of us. Or Messenger, just messages.
Okay, perfect.
Definitely.
I want to thank you both.
Yes, thank you very much.
Great show and great hearing all the stories, alien or otherwise. And thank you for being here, and we'll definitely want to have you guys back.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Moongirl. It's always a pleasure. And thank you to our audience. And we love you. And we're wishing you always the best. Bye.